Hey, welcome to another episode of the Diary of an Apartment Investor podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Brian Briscoe. This is episode number 205 and part of our multifamily brief series. Today, we're going to talk about, the answer to a question that I was asked a couple of days ago from, a member of our tribe of Titans. And that was, how can I increase my deal flow? And I think that's a question that a lot of people, especially the newer investors, are asking. Even some people that have one or two properties are asking that question a lot, because it is a more competitive market than it's been since I've been involved, at least. So what are some viable tips to increase your deal flow? Well, first of all, I want to define that term deal flow, because it's, it can mean different things to different people, but basically the way I look at it is it's the number of available apartment opportunities that come across your desk in a given time period. So maybe you get 10 emails a week with different deals in there. Your deal flow is 10 per week. So analyzing deals is largely a numbers game, as you're inevitably going to have to sift through numerous opportunities before finding one or two that meet your criteria, and one or two for which you can even make a competitive offer. Even then, the market's so competitive right now that most deals have multiple offers. So somehow you're going to have to make your offer stand out from the crowd. Now, that's probably a topic for another podcast episode all by itself, so more on that one later. So right now, we're just going to talk about some tips to increase your deal flow. Now, in no particular order, here they are. Number one, talk to brokers. This may sound like I'm stating the obvious, and I kind of am, but bear with me. Brokers typically have a long list of owners and buyers, and even potential buyers make their list. If you receive a deal via email from a broker, you can know with almost certainty that that broker has sent the same deal to their entire distribution list with hundreds or thousands of potential buyers on there. Now, being on the broker's email list is often not enough. Okay, nothing replaces picking up the phone and talking to brokers. This will put you at least momentarily at the top of their mind, and it may prompt them to share a true off-market deal with you. For example, while you're talking to a broker, you may say, hey, is there anything else coming out down the pipeline? Any other deals that you have that you may want to share with me? And every once in a while, this will lead to a true off-market deal that you may have first cracked at before it hits their distro list. Now, as previously mentioned, finding deals is largely a numbers game, but I'm going to just let myself contradict myself and say, hey, guess what? It is largely a relationship game too. So as you talk to brokers, you should also be striving to build a solid relationship with them. And once again, that's probably another subject that deserves its own lesson. Now, second tip is very much related to the first. Be responsive to the brokers. When you get a property emailed to you, give the broker feedback within a relatively short period of time. Some people have a 24-hour goal of, reviewing the deal and providing initial feedback to brokers, but, 24 to 48 hours is probably a good goal to reach. Get the email, respond to the broker, hey, I got it, I'm going to look it over. And then 24 to 48 hours later, give them a little bit of feedback on it. This will let the broker know that you're taking action and actively looking for your next purchase, as opposed to hundreds of people on their distro list that may never even open that email. Once again, this will bring you to the top of their mind for a few moments as they receive your feedback, and once again may lead to increased deal flow. Now, also, you should strive to tour the properties in question. As often as your situation allows, you should be touring the properties that come across your desk. And once again, this is going to do a few things for you. You're going to meet the brokerage team face to face, which can serve to strengthen that broker relationship. Second, it shows the brokerage team that you're serious about purchasing the apartment complex. And finally, it's also going to give you a lot more insight into the specific property, to the neighborhood and everything else that you can later use to compare with other properties, which will make you a much better deal analyst, which will allow you to provide better feedback back to that broker and increase your stock with them. All right, next tip, have a team in place. Apartment investing is definitely a team sport, and brokers understand this very well. So if you are trying to buy a significant size multifamily property, you're going to need to have that team in place. And not only do you need to have a team, that team needs to be able to qualify for a commercial loan. unless you're paying cash, and then that team needs to be able to have a lot of cash in place. But your team should include sufficient net worth, liquidity, and experience to be able to obtain financing. Okay, and the next tip is to tell the universe what you're looking for. Find ways to bring your purchase criteria up in conversations, especially with like-minded people. Go to these networking events, attend these Zoom events. We've got one every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern that everybody's invited to. But tell people what you're looking for. If you're looking for a 40 to 80 unit property in a specific metro, it's much more likely that someone you've talked to may bring you a lead to a property or introduce you to a broker or an owner or somebody that you may not have met that can once again serve to increase your deal flow. Be another opportunity to create a relationship with somebody that can help you reach your goals. All right, next one, partner up. If you don't have experience yet, try to partner with somebody that does. Use their experience to gain your own experience. Seek to become a co-GP on a deal that an experienced partner finds, or try to find a deal and bring it to an experienced team. As far as deal flow goes, having experience will unlock the deal flow floodgates unlike anything else. And having an experienced partner on your team is going to increase your chances at getting the broker's attention and rising on their list of buyers. All right, next thing, have a process in place. This becomes more and more important as your deal flow increases. If your deal flow is, sitting at 1 to 2 opportunities per week, you can probably handle things without being incredibly organized. But once you get to the point where you're getting multiple deals in your inbox daily, your own processes can make or break your chances. A solid process can start with just tagging the deal in your inbox, blocking time to review each one, developing a screening process to quickly find the ones that meet your criteria, tracking each opportunity in a database or a spreadsheet, and providing responses to the broker. If you streamline your process, you'll be able to handle more and more deals. And the more deals that you're able to handle, magically, the more deals that are going to appear into your inbox. Now, the last tip we'll give is to make offers. Though everything on this list is important, this is perhaps the most important one. You can do everything on this list perfectly, but if you never make an offer, you're going to eventually see your deal flow evaporate. If you're talking with brokers, asking questions, emailing, providing feedback, touring properties, and so forth, but you're not following up with actual offers, eventually the brokers are going to look at you as a waste of time. They're going to stop answering your calls, your emails, your texts, and they may even remove you from their distribution list. Short of purchasing properties, making offers is the ultimate sign that you're a serious apartment investor and will definitely get the broker's attention. Now, final thoughts. Remember, this is both a numbers game and a relationship game. You should definitely strive to develop relationships with as many brokers as you can and show them that you mean business. Develop your own process, quickly analyze, provide feedback on the deals that come across your desk, tour the properties that pass your sniff test, and put in as many offers as you can. Now, in addition to being both a numbers and a relationships game, it's also a game where momentum counts. Your actions to do all of the above will create momentum and generate more and more leads and improve more and more relationships, which will lead to more and more deals coming across your desk and eventually more and more purchases. All right, that's it for today's show. Stay tuned because on Friday, we've got another great Ask the Expert episode coming out, and you're not going to want to miss that.